let's talk about your amazing movie and congratulations. This film is so lovely and you are so good in it. I just need to tell you that. So tell
Thank
me
you
when
so much.
you came across,
Honestly,
oh, go ahead.
I just want to say, like, I always want to say, like, it means so much. And I just wanted to genuinely say thank you for your kind words because I really appreciate you saying that.
Oh, you're welcome. Tell me about this project and what was it about First Love that made you want to say yes?
Well, I didn't want to do another romance movie, if I'm going to speak bluntly, after, or not even after. It felt like I was still within the afterworld. And I was kind of just saying to my team, like, I want to do some other stuff and, diversify the range of genres that we're doing. And we got the script in and I was like, damn it, it's such a good script. I think I'm going to have to do it. And then I was still reluctant, but with the other cast attached and after speaking to AJ and hearing about, his belief in me, and belief in my ability to do the role well. I think that was what kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, and I'm so glad I did it because I'm so proud of the work. So
It's really lovely. What I find most kind of like fascinating about it is that it says so much while saying so little. There's very little dialogue, and most of it is told through like your emotions and the way you look or touch each other. Was that difficult for you? Like, how did you go about expressing all of those words without words?
Yeah, that's such an interesting question. I completely agree with you, and I can understand why it would seem challenging. And I think if I looked at it in that way beforehand, I would have felt like it was a massive challenge. But I feel like because the story is so real and true and wholesome, you don't need to say much. The storyline allows for your emotions to be explained to the audience. They know how you're feeling. You don't have to, use pointless kind of excessive dialogue to explain everything. It's really a beautiful script. Credit to AJ. So he did the work. He made it easier for us in that sense. But no, I do really enjoy being able to act through physicality rather than pointless exposition that you get sometimes. So.
Talk to me about Jim. He is very different, I think, than your character in After for you. Um, do you relate to him at all, or like how do you see him through your eyes?
Yeah, I I think I initially saw Jim as someone who was a bit more to himself, and more of a listener, patient, and a bit kind of maybe like less popular, not for any reason. And I think after playing him, I see him now as like a really wise, mature, caring, considerate, great listener. And I saw all of those elements before, but I think after bringing him to life, I was like, actually, I never thought there was any aspect of him that's not admirable, but maybe there weren't elements there. Then afterwards, I realized, no, he is such a well-rounded, good person. I think is just a good way to say he's such a good natured person. And I think that comes from his upbringing and the way you said, which I completely agree with, so different from Hardin. And you can see Hardin's upbringing obviously completely different as well. And the way that in real life, the true nature of your upbringing affecting how you are as a person is I love how true both of those relationships. I mean, both of those situations that they have are, and I love the idea of playing someone so different from Hardin after playing him 4 times. But I have to say, when I play Hardin, I want him to be a bit more composed. And after playing Jim, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And then I found myself 2 days in, like, oh, I want to punch my dad and throw a lamp against the wall and be a bit more like Hardin. So the grass is always greener. The grass is always greener.
Do you relate to Jim at all, or did you learn something about yourself while playing him?
Yeah, I think I need to learn. And it's different. It's funny with interviews because you're obviously required to talk a lot, but I'm a waffler. I can just drone on and my words can just get in front of me. And I think Jim is so
Okay.
good at being so concise and listening and more than talking, and only talking or acting and putting things out there when he really feels it's right. I think he's such a patient, wise, calculated person, and I would love to be a bit more like that. So I feel like I sit somewhere comfortably in the middle of Hardin and Jim, and I like take little bits that I want from each of them.
So this movie is obviously about first love, as well as I love the juxtaposition of the parents because they're also a first love, but on the other end of the spectrum. And what do you think it is about that type of love and our first loves, as I say that like for the 12th time, that affects us all so deeply in kind of our life and in,
Do you know what I feel like? when you're young, majority of your emotions and understanding kind of come not at once, but they kind of all come as you grow up. You're aware of it. You can figure it out quite quickly while you're very young. And then I feel like the element of like love and attraction and relationship comes quite later, when you already feel like I'm a teenager now, I know everything, and then you're in this point where like when you're at school doing exams and like everything feels like the end of the world. I feel like, I don't know. You also mentioned about the juxtaposition between the two, and juxtaposing first love and how high the stakes are there. But then equally, the stakes are so high when you've been in love with your first love for so long. But then there's a spanner in the works, and you need to try and maintain that relationship. So again, I'm waffling, but yeah, I think the whole approach AJ took with the script to portraying relationships and juxtaposing and putting side by side the two different relationships, it almost feels like a constant loop that everyone can relate to in some way. And yeah, it feels like that. It feels like because Greg and Kay were each other's essentially first love as well. It's a really kind of like, it feels like, and I don't want to encourage anyone to think that's the only person out there for them, but it does feel like the film really portrays the beauty of a first love if you can make it work, essentially.
I agree. Now, talk to me about working with Sydney. Sydney is amazing in this as well. Was this the first time you two worked together? Was there a chemistry read? Like, talk to me about the first, like all of the goodies of working with Sydney.
Yeah, it was annoying. Me and Sydney met like instantly. It felt like we met and then filmed the next scene straight away. We did not get much time at all to get to know each other, but we got lucky because we get on really well. I have nothing but great things to say about Sydney. She's not only a great actor, as everyone knows who watches, but she's just such a fun person to be around, who's always so positive. Even when we've got a massive day ahead of us, I'll secretly probably be a bit grumpy, or not so secretly, probably be quite bad at hiding the fact that I'm, apprehensive. And she's just feels like she's done it a million times before. She knows she's going to smash it. She's in a good mood. And that kind of confidence and happiness and not taking everything so seriously kind of just has a domino effect on everyone else in the crew, including me. So yeah, real pleasure working with Sydney. She's great.
I love it. Did you have a favorite scene that you guys shot together?
It's funny, there's a few scenes that we really enjoy, like montage pieces that were like fun to shoot and we could kind of just improvise and do what we want. And then naturally you only get like a snippet of them in the film, but you kind of need to spend a lot of time doing them for AJ, the director, to then find that little one moment and be like, yeah, that's the bit. We don't need the rest of it. But we needed to do all of that to get that bit. So montage moments were always fun to film because they were just so kind of freeing and yeah, you just had no rules or regulations. You just kind of, have fun with it. So yeah, I enjoyed those. And the location was insane. We're just like on the beach in LA or like a nice, like, yeah, we got lucky. So yeah, I enjoyed those.
That's awesome. And so you worked with Diane Kruger and Donovan. Did they give you any advice as far as like your career moving forward?
So Diane, I was more familiar with her work ever so slightly. And then I watched Sicario and Jeffrey Donovan's in it. And then I watched a different film, which is named, I think, Sleepers, and Jeffrey Donovan's in it. And a different film, Jeffrey Donovan. This was after we filmed. I texted him like, bro, get off my TV screen. You're in everything I'm here. Why is everything I watch you're in? He just pop up. But he's a veteran and he's got such a good, well-rounded understanding of how films work. And he would, pass it on to me and I feel like I was so aware that I go onto that set and just learn so much from the two of them. And Diane, I had a few scenes opposite her where she would just deliver the most insane performance. I completely forget that I was acting and like, be like, oh my God, it's my line. What am I saying? And just, But yeah, both of them were incredible actors and incredible people as well. And I loved working with them.
They're amazing. And as you said, for this movie, you had just done all of After, which the new one comes out in August. And you're like, I didn't want to do another teen romance film. What do you want to do next? Do you want to do action? Would you want to do a rom-com? Because those are coming back. Or do you want to stay away from the teen thing for a while?
Do you know what? I've said before, like, never say that. It would be dumb to say, like, never say. I've definitely said to myself throughout the process of After that, like, I'd love to do other stuff because we're doing 4 movies here and I want to make sure that I've got work in other genres too. But then this came along and it was like, well, if it's a great script with a great director and great people attached, then I'm happy to do whatever storyline comes my way if it's going to be a great film. Having said that, I would love to not necessarily just move away from romance, but yeah, do some more kind of gritty crime thriller, boisterous, high stakes. Not that it's not high stakes in romance, but I think you know what I'm getting onto.
Yeah.
I would love to dabble a bit more on that other side of the spectrum, but listen, if it comes my way and it's a great project, we're going to take it because of the quality rather than.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And I really hope everyone goes and sees First Love. You are truly fantastic in it.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I really, really appreciate that.